understood the basic of national income and how we calculate it, we've divided the calculation procedure into three ways. The first one being product approach, the second and the third being expenditure and income approach respectively. Now product approach क्या कहता है? In the product approach what we basically do is we see the product side economics. So this is basically product side economics. Now remember we talked about the distinction between final goods and intermediate goods. That thing is very important in the product approach, because product approach में हम national income कैसे calculate करते हैं? We take into account the money value of all the final goods that are produced in the economy. So what we do is we calculate final goods money value. In the process we exclude all the intermediaries that are produced. But here's the thing, what we do, let's say economy में जितने भी goods or services produced हुए हैं, we group them and we collectively call them Q, that is for quantity. That this is the basic amount of goods and services that are produced in the economy, whatever it is. Let's assume that the price of all of this is grouped into P. So what we have here is the basic calculation, price into quantity is equals to GDP at MP. ये होता है basic outline of the product approach, but it's a little more complicated than that. Why is it a little more complicated? Because हमें final goods चाहिए, right? बट बहुत सेक्टर्स में, बहुत सिचुएशंस में फाइनल गुड क्या है और इंटरमीडिएट गुड क्या है, ये चीज़ थोड़ी क्लमजी हो जाती है. द डेफिनेशन इज नॉट वेरी प्रॉपर. I'll give you an example. Remember the wheat, flour, bread example that we took? Talk about flour. The miller purchased wheat from the farmer. उसने उसको फ्लावर में कन्वर्ट किया, उसने उसको फैक्ट्री में बेच दिया था. So this is from our previous example, the miller's flour. This was the final good for the miller. He produced this flour from the given wheat. But the moment he sold it to the factory for creation of bread, ये एक intermediate good बन गया था. Because then this was the final output. Previously when in reference with the miller, ये था हमारा final output. But जब इसने ये फैक्ट्री में बेच दिया और ये फैक्ट्री जो है इस फ्लावर को लेके ब्रेड में कन्वर्ट कर दिया, the flour became the intermediate good in this case. So as we can see, हमेशा ये distinction clear नहीं होता है कि क्या intermediate good है, क्या final good है. That is why in our product approach we employ a method called value added. Okay, so product approach is also called the value added method. A value added में क्या होता है? Remember how this flour was taken and value was added to it because it got transformed. मतलब उसने जितने पैसे में वीट खरीदा था उसने फ्लावर बनाया और फिर उससे ज़्यादा पैसे में वो फ्लावर बेचा था. So he took a basic commodity, an intermediate commodity which was his raw material, let's say, and he converted it, he transformed it to another form. उसने उस पर वैल्यू ऐड किया था. सो इन प्रोडक्ट अप्रोच व्हाट वी बेसिकली डू इज वी टेक अ प्रोडक्ट एंड वी सी हाउ मच फर्दर वैल्यू गेट्स एडेड टू दैट प्रोडक्ट बिफोर इट कम्स टू द मार्केट सप्लाई. दिस लाइक वी टेक लेट्स से व्हीट, दिस वॉज द बेसिक रॉ मटीरियल. ये गेहूँ जो था ये सबसे पहले प्रोड्यूस हुआ था, उसके बाद ना ये फ्लावर बना और फिर ब्रेड बना. सो वी टेक व्हीट, वी सी कि ये यहाँ पे इसका वैल्यू कितना है जब ये फ्लावर बन रहा है. देन वी सी ब्रेड बनते टाइम इसका वैल्यू क्या हो रहा है. वी डोंट नेसेसरली टेक द वैल्यू ऑफ दीज आइटम्स. वी सी व्हीट का इतना प्राइस था, फ्लावर बनते टाइम इसका प्राइस जितना बढ़ा, लाइक दिस वॉज परचेज फॉर 50 रुपीज़, was sold at 100 rupees. So the value that gets added is 50 here. He purchased it at 100 rupees. He sold this as 150 rupees. So the value that got added here is 50 rupees. The value gets added in one basic raw material, right? So this is how we calculate the national income in the product approach. We see how much further value is getting added to an item. Now, another interesting thing about the value added method is we group the economy into three sectors. The entire economy जो हमारे पास है जिसमें भी काम चल रहा है, we have a sectorial division of that economy. So let me write this. Sectorial division. ये हमारी इकोनॉमी का sectorial division है. What do we have here? Primary sector. This is the secondary sector. And the last is the tertiary sector. हमें पता है कि हमारी इकोनॉमी इन तीनों सेक्टर्स में डिवाइडेड है. Okay, so in the value added method we use these three sectors. अब क्या होता है in each sector, like let's say the primary sector. इस primary sector में we know what happens is farmers grow crops. It is basically a land based occupation. So let's say in the primary sector there's not one farmer, okay, or there's not just 4 or 5 farmers. There are many farmers producing different types of crops. Not just one crop gets grown. So this has a number of units or producing enterprises, which goes on to say प्राइमरी सेक्टर में बहुत सारे फार्मर्स हैं, बहुत सारे क्रॉप्स ग्रो हो रहे हैं. सिमिलरली सेकेंडरी सेक्टर में बहुत सारी फैक्ट्रीज, इंडस्ट्रीज, प्रोड्यूसिंग एंटरप्राइजेस, बहुत कुछ है. द सेम गोज ऑन विद द थ्री सेक्टर्स इक्विवेलेंटली. सो व्हाट वी डू इज we take the value added by each producing unit of one particular sector and we call that gross value added at market price. So we know a value is getting added to an item and we know there are a lot of producing units, so सबका group करके what we have is gross value added at market price. We have gross value added market price of primary sector, secondary sector, tertiary sector. So the way that we calculate GDP is GVA at MP, which is gross value added at market price by primary sector, plus GVA at MP by secondary sector, plus GVA at MP by tertiary sector. Adding the three of these, what we have here is GDP at MP. Now we know that GDP at MP can be converted into both domestic income and national income by use of depreciation, NFI and net indirect taxes and stuff like that. So this was the theoretical knowledge behind this topic. हमें इस पे sums करने हैं. We need to calculate national income by this method. We know कि अगर हमें GDP at MP मिल गया तो हमें convert कैसे करना है. What we don't know is इसके components क्या क्या होंगे इस method के. So we focus on the problems here. Now the product approach takes this basic form. And the basic assumption is whatever gets produced gets sold. What does not get sold adds to the stock of inventory or the stock of capital. Right? Let me write this down for you. Sales is a synonym for GDP at MP or a synonym for GVA because whatever gets produced gets sold. So we have sales, and when the produced stock does not get sold, when something gets left out, जब जो कुछ भी produce हुआ है वो पूरा बिकता नहीं है. What we have here is change in stock. This entire thing is the value of output. So if we're ever asked to calculate value of output, we know it is sales plus change in stock. How do we calculate change in stock? We will be given variables called closing stock minus opening stock. When we subtract opening stock from closing stock, what we have is change in stock. This is change in inventory or change in capital stock. And we're adding that to the sales in the economy. That gives us the value of output. Okay, so let's say we have value of output here, which we know is sales plus change in stock, minus what we have is intermediate consumption. Okay, so we have value of output. हमने जो कुछ भी प्रोड्यूस किया था हमने उसको बेच दिया, जो कुछ नहीं बिका था हमने उसको चेंज इन स्टॉक बना दिया. We have value of output. We have intermediate consumption. Now how do we go about doing this? हमने रॉ मटेरियल्स खरीदे थे, हमने बहुत सारी चीज़ें यूज़ की थी for producing this output which we have sold in the market. Those intermediaries or those raw materials or whatever we have used in the production process and we have by large transformed them, we add them into intermediate consumption. Like for example, I am a firm, I am purchasing some raw materials from some other firm. Like I am a miller, I am purchasing wheat from a farmer. That wheat becomes my intermediate consumption, right? Let's say like we knew the value of flour was 100 rupees. What we had here was wheat which was of 50 rupees. So the value added was 100 minus 50, which gives us 50. This was the value added. This was the value of output. This is equivalent to this. हमें पता है कि flour का value था 100. This is the value of output. This is the value of the intermediate consumption, which is wheat. Intermediate consumption. The value added that we have here is 50. So this will give us, let's say, the GV at MP. So the structure of the problem that we have in the product approach, मतलब questions का जो pattern होता है वो basically कुछ इस तरह होता है. What we have in the beginning is the value of output, which we know कि ये sales plus change in stock है. Now the question arises, why sales plus change in stock? Suppose I am a firm in the economy. मैंने कुछ goods produce किए हैं. अब नॉट नेसेसरीली वो सारा प्रोडक्शन बिक जाता है. क्या होता है कि मेरे कुछ गुड्स बिकते हैं, कुछ नहीं बिकते हैं. सो वॉट एवर गेट्स सोल्ड इज अ पार्ट ऑफ सेल्स, वॉट एवर डज नॉट गेट सोल्ड इज अ पार्ट ऑफ स्टॉक. मतलब मेरे पास वो गुड्स हैं जो मैंने बेच दिए, जो मेरे मार्केट सप्लाई में चले गए थे, लोगों ने उनको खरीद लिया. मेरे पास वो गुड्स हैं जो नहीं बिके थे, विच इज़ अ स्टॉक. अब क्या होता है, मान लो मेरे साथ लास्ट ईयर भी ऐसा हुआ था कि मेरे कुछ गुड्स जो है वो बिके थे, कुछ नहीं बिके थे. सो आई हैव द स्टॉक फ्रॉम प्रीवियस ईयर, आई हैव द स्टॉक फ्रॉम दिस ईयर. सो द नेट इंक्रीज इन स्टॉक दैट आई हैव दिस ईयर is the change in stock which we calculate by this formula. This is closing stock minus opening stock which gives me the value of change in stock. मैंने इन दोनों को ऐड कर दिया, I get value of output. उसके बाद मेरे पास है intermediate consumption. ये वो goods है या raw materials है जो मैंने अपने production purpose में use किया था. So when I subtract intermediate consumption from this, I get the GV at MP. So we know we have sales, we have change in stock, we have intermediate consumption. Now let's talk more about sales. जब मैं अपना प्रोड्यूस बेच रही हूँ, I may sell some of it to the firms in the domestic economy. मैं उसमें से कुछ एक्सपोर्ट भी कर सकती हूँ. So sales basically gets divided into sales to domestic firms plus export. These are the firms that I have within my economy. These are the firms in the rest of the world, or anything, any person or enterprise that's buying my product from the rest of the world. Similarly, for intermediate consumption, the things that I need, मैं कुछ चीज़ें डोमेस्टिक फर्म्स से खरीद सकती हूँ. आई एम बाइंग सम थिंग्स फ्रॉम द रेस्ट ऑफ द वर्ल्ड. जो चीज़ें मैं रेस्ट ऑफ द वर्ल्ड से ले रही हूँ वो मेरा इम्पोर्ट है. नाउ व्हाई डू आई नीड टू इम्पोर्ट सर्टेन थिंग्स? ऐसा हो सकता है कि मेरी अपनी कंट्री में उस चीज़ की अवेलेबिलिटी नहीं है. ऐसा हो सकता है कि वो चीज़ मेरी कंट्री में ज़्यादा प्राइस में बिक रही है, वो रेस्ट ऑफ द वर्ल्ड में कम प्राइसेस में बिक रही है. सो आई डिसाइड टू इम्पोर्ट दीज थिंग्स. सो इंटरमीडिएट कंजम्पशन गेट्स डिवाइडेड इनटू परचेज फ्रॉम डोमेस्टिक फर्म्स प्लस इम्पोर्ट. Sales gets divided into sales to domestic firm plus calculating national income via the product approach. हमें कुछ चीज़ें दिमाग में रखनी है. हमें पता है कि हम फाइनल गुड्स इंक्लूड कर सकते हैं, हम इंटरमीडिएट गुड्स इंक्लूड नहीं कर सकते हैं. बट एक इकोनॉमी में और भी बहुत सारी चीज़ें होती हैं. उनमें से कुछ चीज़ें हमें इंक्लूड करनी है, कुछ चीज़ें हमें इंक्लूड नहीं करनी है. Which is why I have made a table here which says what are the things that we need to include, what are the things that we need to exclude, and which things are not considered at all. Now let's take it from the first. हमें पता है कि sales plus change in stock is equals to value of output. Why should change in stock be included in national income accounting? This is what happens. I have produced something, some of it got saved as stock, that increased my net stock which I have. So change in stock basically is included because it is a part of what we call current production. Because we know national income takes into account whatever goods and services are produced in the current accounting year, right? So this is a part of current production, which is why change in stock gets to be a part of this. And like I said, intermediate goods are not included in national income accounting, so we subtract intermediate consumption from this, hence it gets excluded. Now the second thing that we have here is sale and purchase of second hand goods. Now we know sale and purchase of second hand goods, since they are second hand, they are not a part of current production. ऐसा नहीं है कि इन goods को produce किया गया था, ये पहले से produced थे. जब ये फर्स्ट हैंड बिके थे तब इनका वैल्यू नेशनल इनकम अकाउंटिंग में ले लिया गया था, तो हम इन्हें दोबारा कैलकुलेट नहीं करेंगे. विच इज़ वाई द सेल एंड परचेज ऑफ सेकेंड हैंड गुड्स इज नॉट कंसिडर्ड. However, if there is any commission or brokerage involved, मतलब किसी ने वो गुड किसी को खरीदने में हेल्प किया है, सपोज there's a house or there's a building, किसी को कमीशन मिला है उस चीज़ के लिए, this gets included because it gets included in lieu of a service provided. ये सर्विस तो इसी अकाउंटिंग ईयर में चल रहा है ना, इसने ये सर्विस अभी दिया है. इट इज़ नॉट अ सेकेंड हैंड सर्विस, दिस इज फर्स्ट हैंड. So this commission or brokerage gets included. Again, we know that if a housewife does any domestic work, like let's say cleaning clothes or cleaning the house or whatever, एक डोमेस्टिक सर्विस जो हाउसवाइफ करती है वो इंक्लूड नहीं होता है. वो क्यों इंक्लूड नहीं होता है? क्योंकि उन चीज़ों को कोई मार्केट वैल्यू नहीं है. These are thus termed as non-market transactions. इनका कोई वैल्यू नहीं है. On the other hand, the paid services like maid, driver, etc. जिन चीज़ों के हम पैसे देते हैं वो चीज़ें इंक्लूड होती है, बिकॉज आई एम पेइंग दैट पर्सन फॉर देयर सर्विस, आई एम पेइंग द ड्राइवर फॉर द सर्विसेज दैट ही इज गिविंग टू मी. हेंस दिस गेट्स इंक्लूडेड इन नेशनल इनकम अकाउंटिंग. Now we know that suppose let's say a farmer is producing something. उसने कुछ goods produce किया है, वो पूरा का पूरा तो नहीं बेचेगा ना, वो कुछ चीज़ें सेल्फ कंजम्पशन के लिए रखेगा. So whatever he has kept for self consumption will be included in national income because it has what we call a market value. उसने वो चीज़ मार्केट में बेचा होता तो उसको कुछ पैसे मिलते उस चीज़ के. सिमिलरली इट गोज़ फॉर इम्प्यूटेड रेंट. अगर मेरे पास अपना घर है, मैं किसी और का घर रेंट पे नहीं ले रही हूँ, मेरे पास अपना घर है, मुझे रेंट पे नहीं करना पड़ रहा है. बट अगर मैं रेंट पे रहती तो मुझे रेंट पे करना पड़ता, या अगर मैंने वो घर किसी को रेंट पे दिया होता मुझे उस घर से रेंट मिलता. सो मी लिविंग इन माई ओन हाउस इम्प्लाइज एन इम्प्यूटेड रेंट दैट आई एम बेयरिंग. Hence, this also gets included in national income accounting. This is very similar to self-consumption. Since these two things have a market value, if I would have sold them in the market, they would have had some value. Hence, they are included in the national income accounting. I have a question here, according to which we have to calculate the national income through the product approach. Now we know that the abbreviated version of national income is NNP at FC. This is what we have to calculate. These are the variables given to us. So let's start from the beginning. This is VOP by primary sector. Value of output by primary sector is 800. The value of output by secondary sector is 200. That by the tertiary sector is 300. These are our intermediate inputs. The primary sector has incurred cost of 400 on inputs, secondary sector 100, tertiary sector 50. The value of indirect tax is also 50, subsidy 20. NFIA, which is factor income from abroad minus factor income to abroad, is minus 10, which basically means that the factor income from abroad is less than factor income to abroad. This means factor income from abroad is less than factor income to abroad, right? So this is just an explanation. Now, consumption of fixed capital is 80. We all know from the notes that we have studied that consumption of fixed capital is nothing but depreciation. So this is the sum. Now let's just calculate GDP first. We know that VOP by primary sector is 800. We can calculate GV at MP, which is equal to value of output minus intermediate consumption. So that of the primary sector will be 800 minus intermediate inputs was 400. So the GV at MP of the primary sector is 400. Similarly, we can calculate that of the secondary sector. Let's say this was of primary sector. This is of secondary sector. We have its VOP is equals to 200. The intermediate consumption was of 100. So this is nothing but 100. That of the tertiary sector was 300. So let's say tertiary sector 300. The value of intermediate inputs was 50. So that gives us a GVA at MP of tertiary sector of 250. We know in order to calculate GDP at MP, we basically do nothing other than add these. So GDP at MP is equals to 400 plus 100 plus 250, which is 750. So we know GDP at MP is equals to 750. And we can turn GDP at MP into national income through the other variables that are given here. Let's say NDP at MP, which is equals to GDP at MP minus depreciation. We have GDP at MP is equals to 750 minus the value of depreciation is consumption of fixed capital 80. So that gives us 670, is it? Right, 670. We have NDP at MP here. Let us take NDP at MP and convert it into NNP at MP. We add NFIA. So, which is equals to NNP at MP. Now, the value of NFIA was minus 10. So, NDP at MP is 670 minus 10, which is equals to 660. The last step is calculating the national income itself, which is NNP at FC, which is equals to NNP at MP minus NIT. So we know how to calculate NIT. It's basically indirect taxes minus subsidy, which is indirect taxes is Okay, let's do it here. NNP at MP minus indirect taxes minus subsidy. NNP at MP, as we calculated earlier, is 660 minus indirect taxes is 50 minus subsidy being 20. So we have 660 minus 30, which is equals to 630. Now this is rupees 630 crores. Since all our money values were in crores, so the value of national income is 630 crores. Now this is our final answer.